Today, folks, I am doing this vlog in my wedding dress. Yes, I said it right. You've seen, I'm doing it in my wedding dress. Because I'm going to be talking about a topic that I have put off, but is a topic that needs to be talked about. Now, this dress is almost 4 years old. This is what I wore on my wedding day. Can you believe I actually still fit in it? Like, after a baby, I think I did pretty darn good. But yes, today we're going to be talking about, and I'm going to talk in this dress. It is actually, I didn't remember it being this hot. I'm on fire. But we're going to be talking about tips and advice that I would give to anyone who is going to get married. Now, you could be engaged, you could be single, you could be dating, you could be kind of having a little thing where you're kind of not sure about where your relationship is going to go. So then that's the it's complicated status on Facebook. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the tips that I would give you, or advice that I would give from being 4 years married now for marriage. So here goes. The first thing is get the fantasy out of your head, okay? And this is mainly for women, because I know men hardly, well, most men hardly ever think about the day. But us women, we have dreamt about this day from about 2 years old, when we play mummies and daddies in the park with our best friends. You see this dress here? This dress has been under my bed and it has been gathering dust. The only thing that I have from my wedding day that I use every day is my ring. Now, when I look back at myself getting married, I do laugh, because I had this fantasy about the day. And now, fortunately for me, I married my best friend and we're still married to this very day. But the dangers of having a fantasy in your head is that you stop looking at the reality. Now, that means, are you looking at the person that you're going to marry? Are they your best friend? What are their flaws? What are their financial situation? What is their family like? We can get into such a sticky situation when we spend most of our focus on this stuff, the physical. I'm gonna look nice and everyone's gonna adore me and the crowds will cheer. Yes, yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, we look for the glamour, the glitz. Everybody taking out their phones and taking pictures and wanting to see the ring and laughing. But the main thing is that you marry your best friend, because when the doors close, when everybody goes away, when this big fat dress comes off, it's just you and your best friend. And that's the thing that's gonna matter in the end. Because now that I'm married, I realize that marriage is one of the biggest, it doesn't matter what anyone says, it's not just a piece of paper. It is the biggest decision you could ever make in your whole life. And by that I mean that if you ever decide to get divorced, I've worked in divorce court and I've seen the families that have cried, and I've seen how they've had to break up finances, they've had to break up reputations, they've had to break up children, all just because they didn't look at the person that they were marrying on the day. They didn't realize who the person was. The next point I'll make is that you should ask the tough questions. Having discussions about your money, children, family, your future. Now, some people say, oh, why do you need to do that? Do you even need to ask questions about your DNA, genetics, blood type, sickness? Anything you can find, get the details. Make it your hobby to know the person's history, because what can happen is you could get married and all of a sudden all this stuff pops up that you just did not know, wasn't aware of, and you could feel very deceived, feel like the rug was pulled out of your feet, or feel like you didn't get what you signed up for, put it that way. Now, I'm not saying that if you have all the questions that it's all gonna work out, because there will always be something that you just didn't foresee. But at the same time, I think it's so important to just pay attention. The next thing is, when you say your vows, understand what you are about to say. So for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. Now, for richer, for poorer could mean that one day you could start off the relationship rich and your partner could start poor. And by the time both of you are old or die, it could have switched the other way, gone up and down, up and down. There's hurdles with regards to finances. So it's a ride, and you have to be in it for the long haul. You have to be the ride or die through the thick and thin. For richer, for poorer, for sickness and in health, that's another one. You know, what happens if one of you gets sick? And then the other one has, you know, when I'm a stay-at-home wife and my husband's sick, then I don't have anyone, you know? And you've got to think about the fact that there's no glitz and glamour after the day. What there is after the day is loyalty, teamwork, respect, love, trust, relationship, family, unity. It's up to you to take that marriage and build. It's up to you. You can build it or you can throw it away. But it's all down to your perspective. And then till death do us part. Now for me, death do us part doesn't just mean my husband. It means his family. It means my family. What happens when people die around you? It affects your relationship. It changes the person that you're with. And sometimes we don't want to look at these things. We marry one person at the beginning of our life and they could be a totally different person at the end of our lives. Now, there is so much to marriage that I would love to share, and some of it I won't be able to share on vlogging. It will have to go into a blog, unfortunately, because it's just such a wide topic and there's so much I've learned just from the 4 years that I've been married. But I'm gonna just share the overall points with you at this point, and then, you know, we'll take it from there, and I'll let you know when it's up on my website. All right, the next thing is have fun. Go out, have fun, enjoy each other. It's a privilege to be with someone who you connect with, who you see as your soulmate, who has the same visions, the same passions as you, who you just click with. You don't need to talk. They understand you without even talking. And that, to me, is invaluable. Just enjoy every moment. And especially because when you first start out, it's so much fun, especially when you have different stages of your relationship. And there's that freedom at first, and then you go into the responsible side. But then you should never lose that fun side, because if you don't enjoy yourself, like I'm a bit loopy, my husband is a bit loopy as well. And I think it makes great for our relationship, especially when hard times come, because we can pull each other through, not just by counselling and supporting each other, but just enjoying each other. And that makes a massive difference to the longevity of the relationship.
She's gone for a break. So check back next week for more.